Hi everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a really exciting video, hopefully, for you all. It's something that I've sort of been brainstorming for a while that I think is a good idea for video, just to like give some transparency on the actor side of things in New York. Pretty much here I have a sheet of paper here that I've been keeping track of my submissions. So I'm thinking for this video, what I want to do is sort of break down and talk about the things that I submit for on the casting websites. Maybe I should introduce myself first. Hi, my name is Annika. I live, work, and audition in New York City. I am an actor. I do a lot of background work, and I also have worked on student films. I'm currently a non-union actor. So for today's video, I sort of want to be transparent, like tell you all what I submit for and how much of it I actually book, because I feel like that is the part of acting that can be very discouraging, is the amount of stuff that you submit for, that you get asked for a self-tape, you know, you end up kind of like not booking anything, and it gets crazy. Now just remember, this is the first time I am making a video like this, so this is probably going to be like a trial and error thing. Any helpful comments or tips that you think would be helpful for the next time that I go to make a video like this, which I kind of want to do this monthly, just do like a monthly check-in for myself, like what I submit for, what do I kind of get called back for, what do I book, like what seems to be sort of like the patterns that I'm noticing for the roles I submit for. As I get started, I already showed you my little piece of paper that I keep track of everything. So for myself, I am sort of subscribed to 4 different casting websites, and they are, so I use casting networks, I also use Backstage, I use Actors Access, and I am also with Central Casting. Between all of those 4, they're all kind of different, and they all focus on a different aspect of the acting world in a way. So first up, maybe before I get into like the submissions and the bookings, I'll just kind of break down the differences. So Casting Networks is an online casting website. You can sign up and you make a profile. You pretty much upload, you can upload headshots, you can upload selfies, just pictures of yourself, so casting knows what you look like and what roles would fit you. You'll upload your resume, sort of basic information about yourself, special skills, any of those things, and this goes for all the websites, all of them. You have to upload pictures and, you know, resume, that sort of thing. Also, I just want to say, if you don't have experience in acting and you want to get into background acting, you totally can. Okay, there's no experience needed if you want to be a background actor. I did study theater in college, so I do have some plays on my resume, and I've also been in a student film, and I've been a part of a couple readings, so I have some things like that on my resume. If you don't have anything on your resume, it's not a big deal. If you've taken classes, you can put classes on your resume, any special skills, that sort of thing. But yeah, you do not really need experience to get started. So let me get into the actual differences of these casting platforms, because all of them have, again, you set up your profile, you basically just talk about yourself. So fun. All right, so Casting Networks. This platform is mostly background jobs. So background jobs are kind of what it sounds like. You're a extra, essentially. You're in the back of all the scenes. You don't have any lines, and you're just kind of there to fill out the scene and make it look complete and blend in. I have done a lot of background work on a lot of different movies and TV shows, and I really enjoy it. So that's why I'm with Casting Networks, and I do book a lot of background jobs from Casting Networks. Casting Networks will also occasionally have some student films that I've seen, but for the most part, it is all background jobs. And then I am also registered with Backstage, which is another online casting website. Backstage is a lot of student films. I have booked 3 jobs from Backstage that are not background. They Backstage also has background jobs, but not as many as casting networks. So I would say if you want to get involved in student films and indie films, readings, anything like that, definitely sign up with Backstage because they have all of those. But something to be said about Backstage is definitely be careful of scams, because there are scams out there. I have seen them. You know, just use your common sense. If you're not sure about something, look it up. Oftentimes people will have their names on there or like the company they work for. I would like do some research into it, make sure it's legit, and you know, definitely be careful. But from personal experience, I have had good experiences on Backstage and have like worked with legit writers, directors, those kinds of people. Next, I am also registered with Actors Access, and Actors Access is sort of like, I don't know what to call it. Actors Access. I'm on Actors Access. I have never booked anything from Actors Access, but once you join the union, once you have an agent, you're gonna want to be on Actors Access, because this is where they cast like the really big projects, like the ones that you'll see in theaters, the ones you'll see on television. So you'll definitely want to have a profile on Actors Access when you're starting out. It is a lot of, I see they don't have as many postings as casting networks or Backstage, but they do cast more high profile stuff, I would say. Lastly, I am also registered with Central Casting, which is honestly any major city where they have casting going on, Central Casting is going to be there. So essentially, like if you live in LA, if you live in Atlanta, if you live in Chicago, and other cities too, not just those, there is a Central Casting there. Central Casting is very different from the others. Central Casting is mostly background jobs. So again, background acting. You're in the back of the scene, no lines. But it is free to be registered with them, so it costs you nothing to be with them. So I would say if you're starting out and you're not sure yet and you don't want to spend any money, definitely sign up with Central Casting, because they will even, you don't even have to look for the jobs. They just send you stuff that fits your profile, and then you answer back if you're available, and if they can get you on the shoot, then you're on. That's sort of why I like them. But yeah. Also, I never really mentioned commercials. I'll be honest, I haven't worked a commercial. I have been on set for a commercial and never gotten used, but like I've never actually shot a commercial. But I would say, because I feel like a lot of people want to do commercials, and I can see why. They seem like fun. They're like fun short days on set, and you get like paid a good amount. To be honest, I'll occasionally see some commercials on casting networks, definitely some commercials on Backstage, and occasionally Actors Access. I probably see the most postings for commercials on Backstage. So yeah, that's another thing, another plus being registered with Backstage, is there's definitely like a lot of commercials. Also user generated content, people casting like influencers and people who have a social media following. There's a lot of that going on Backstage, in addition to student films and indie projects. All right, so now let's get into specifically what I submitted for, what I got called back for, and what I booked. And I split it up into two sections. So first we're gonna go through the background work I submitted for, and then we're gonna go through the actual roles that I submitted for things that I can as a non-union actor. So this is like student films, indie films, the lower budget type stuff. The things you'll submit for when you're starting out as an actor, which I am. Okay, so first off, background work. Now, as I said before, Casting Networks has a ton of background work that you can submit for. In total, I submitted myself 27 times as a background actor. Oh, I also have fittings on here. So out of those 27 submissions, I booked one fitting. Oh wait, and this is for the whole month of October. So this is what I submitted for in October. Casting Networks, I submitted 27 times. And I booked one fitting, and I booked 3 background jobs out of 27 submissions. That's pretty good. I actually don't know if that's pretty good. We're not gonna say if it's good or bad. It just is. It is what it is. So that was Casting Networks. Let's move on to Backstage. On Backstage, I submitted to 1 background job, and I didn't book it. Let's move on to Actors Access. I submitted to 1 background job, and I did not book that. Now let's move on to Central Casting. Central Casting sent me 4 background jobs, And of those 4, I booked 2. 50%. Is that a total? Should I combine it? So in total, I submitted to 33 background jobs and I booked 5. So there you have it. Hopefully this becomes obvious. You are going to submit for way more things than you're ever going to book. And that is normal. Honestly, if you book everything you submit for, I'm just gonna say that. I'm scared of you. Good for you, but like, how are you doing that? Okay. Now let's move on to the more exciting stuff. Me submitting to actual roles in lower budget stuff, student films, indie commercials, blah, blah, blah. Let's get into it. Okay, so first, casting networks. Now, casting networks, again, as I said, has a ton of background jobs posted there. So it should not be a surprise when I say that I submitted for 1 student film on casting networks in the whole month. I only submitted 1. And spoiler alert, I didn't book it. I don't even remember what it was. I also submitted to a stand-in job. I did not book that. And I also submitted for 2 commercials and I didn't book either one or even a callback or anything like that. Or they didn't even ask for a self-tape or anything. So no luck with casting networks on the, actually landing a role side, but we got a lot of background jobs. All right, now let's move on to Backstage. On Backstage. Now, as I said previously, Backstage has ton of this stuff: indie films, student films, commercials, user-generated content, lots of stuff like that. So for the whole month, I submitted to 19. I submitted to 19 student films. That's pretty good. And I actually got 6 self-tape requests from those 19 postings, which I think is pretty good. I also submitted to 2 commercials on Backstage. I don't believe the self-tape requests were from the commercials at all. I think all 6 self-tape requests that I got back in the month of October were from student films. Of those 6 self-tape requests, I got 1 callback. Okay, I got 1 callback and I booked it. And then I actually think the one that I booked for so there's gonna be, okay, this might get a little bit confusing, but there's gonna be some overlap. So the one job that I booked, I worked early November, but I also have on here, I wrote it down, I worked 1 job. So the month previous, so September, I booked 1 thing off of Backstage as well for the whole month. And I worked that in the month of October. So I also worked 1 job. It was a reading for a script, which I had never done before. So that was my first reading of a script. It was really fun. The script was really good. It was really good. So I was really happy that I was able to work with that writer. So there you go. 19 submissions, 1 booked. Okay, transparency. Hopefully this is helpful. I have no idea. I hope it is. Oh my goodness. Okay. Next, let's move on to Actors Access. So Actors Access, I submitted to 12 student films / indie films. And of those, I got 0 self-tape requests. I also submitted to a play on Actors Access, and I also submitted for a commercial on Actors Access. And again, no self-tape from any of those. So no luck there, but that's okay. Honestly, I think I've been registered with Actors Access for nearly 2 years now. Not a single booking, but I really do think it's good to be on Actors Access. I will say that. It'll happen eventually, okay? It'll happen eventually. In Central Casting, I got no rules sent to me, which I'm not surprised by because, again, Central Casting books background actors. So, yeah. All right. I really hope that that wasn't confusing and that everyone... All right. Well, I'm not going to be hard on myself. This is my first time doing a video like this. So if there's anything that could make it seem more organized, let me know. I'll definitely probably be changing this a little bit the next time I do it, because I want it to be helpful for you all as well as for me. Just a little recap: and being transparent and being honest, as an actor, you are going to submit for way more than you are going to book, and that is okay. That's all good and fine and great and normal. I really hope that this was fun for you all, and interesting, and thank you for following along in my actor journey. It's been fun. Honestly, I've had a lot of firsts lately, and this is great. I love doing these videos. I love being an actor. I love doing all of this. If I didn't, I wouldn't. It's a lot of work. Any helpful comments, please comment them down below. I will read every single one of them, okay? I only have 17 subscribers, so I don't expect a ton of comments. I would love to improve upon this series, and I want to do this every single month for you all. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Okay, Bye.